Boom! This episode of Talks with KG is sponsored by Kanai Cleaning Services. Quality service at all times. Located out of New York, serving all 5 boroughs. They have been in business for over 15 years. Services include cleaning of schools, cleaning of hospitals, cleaning of houses. It don't really matter. Just link up with Kanai Cleaning Services. Their number is 917-200-4362 or email kanaienterprise.com. Also, Jave Auto AC, located number 182 Eastern Main Road, El Dorado, for all your AC needs. Right now the sun hot, so Jave AC is definitely a spot. Boom! Welcome to another episode of Talks with KG, where we keep it real and nothing else but real. And today we have a wonderful, wonderful episode. It's a pleasure to have a reasoning with the one and only Sizzla Kalonji. Yeah, man. Yes, I just want to say, bro, it's really a pleasure. You know, it's really, really a pleasure to just, be in your presence and, because I want a song too. What do you call it? Groupie? But real is real, Sizzla has always been a huge inspiration in my life, for sure, and my generation, for sure, So when I got the opportunity to have this sit down, bro, God, I must say it feel like a blessing,
Exactly.
So I just want to let you know how the vibes is here now, As a youth that really, I know the thing go, bro, God, I'm from Trinidad, and Trinidad love you.
Love Trinidad.
Yeah. Had a time where I wouldn't lie. All we was listening to was Sizzla. Like all we was listening to albums after albums still, as you say. So as I say, bro, it's an honor. And I know we have limited time, So I really want to ask you some questions that I probably always wanted to ask you.
Okay.
That kind of vibes. Let me start it off hot and sweaty. Coming from a youth that just observes Sizzla as an artist, right? We used to always say Sizzla is the only reggae artist we see that sing badman song and culture song. And it was always something that used to, play with my mind. You'd be like, oh, he does do that, Tell me about that. Like Sizzla as an artist that doing the culture song as Rastafari, but also at a time had a catalogue of the badman music.
Greetings,
Yes,
blessings. But it's a part of the musical culture, because in Jamaica, you got the sound system, and it's a part of our culture. You got sound system in clash, a lot of clashes. So whenever time we write songs, you have to write songs so that the selector can be at a very comfortable spot in the dance hall, clashing another selector through the sound system.
Right.
Hence we have the ragamuffin songs. You might call it gangster songs or badman songs. We just call it ragamuffin songs. Yeah. And then you gotta be coming out with the trophy. And that's just it. People cheer for the favorite selector or the favorite artist.
Right.
So then again, entering into the clash, we always have special types of songs that we really make for such. Other than that, we're warriors, we're Africans. We're born warriors from the core, from the side, from the dirt, up to the branch, to the leaf. If you can check all the freedom fighters, they're warriors. His Majesty himself is the emperor. The emperor is a known figure with a military. So naturally, it's in our blood to be defensive with the resilience, to refuse, to be strong. Not to say we'll go out there and promote violence, not in that sense. And on the other turn, you got the cultural songs also, and they're also involved in the clash. Because with a good thinking selector, he can win a clash with a gangster song, as he can with a conscious song. So it's just the mood, the time, the place, and the whole atmosphere, and how you present yourself, how you come across to the public while within the scenario.
You ever got backlash as a Rasta man doing the boat?
Yeah, peer persons have their own say towards it, but like I said, we grew up within the culture.
Yeah.
We grew up listening to a lot of girl songs from Yellow Man time coming up. You know what I mean? We grew up listening to the culture, and we grew up listening to the ragamuffin songs. So it's deeply embedded within us.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. It's a real thing. Like, I always wanted to ask you that now, because that was always a conversation, you know. Sizzla, why Sizzla Rasta bad? Sizzla sing any bad songs. Sizzla, you the man that bad with the boat.
It has it takes, because the next part of it is that when you go on a stage, when you're working a stage show, you need to be very vibrant, high-spirited, high energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Having the people cheering for you. So you can't be on the stage really drooping, moving around, lagging around just like that.
Yeah.
It's not like that, because your career depends on it.
Yeah, that fire.
That's something in Jamaica where you don't perform well, it's like you're doomed. You don't come off the stage booming, having the crowd rejoicing, shouting on top of the voices, it's like you're down, it's like you're done and over.
Yeah.
So it's our part where in which once we enter the music scene and it's a ragamuffin vibes, we present ragamuffin songs.
Definitely.
We enter the music scene and it's about the girls and the summer, we give them girl songs. And then the root for everything is the consciousness. So I've done a lot of ragamuffin songs, I've done a lot of girl songs, but mostly I do a whole lot of conscious songs.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Come on.
Because I used to do a lot of ragamuffin songs and girl songs before doing cultural songs, even though I've been writing conscious songs from a youth. Yeah.
But now, though, we don't really see Sizzla singing that type of music anymore.
I do them for dub plates.
Yeah. We don't really pushing that kind of vibes in.
Not really.
Have a reason for that, though?
I made a lot of gangsters and a lot of girl songs, but I'm really a conscious artist.
True. I mean, you have a huge catalog. We hear that Sizzla recording 25 songs a day, that kind of vibes. What is the most songs you ever record in one day?
I would say, not remembering well, but I would put it at a number like 15. About
And say now.
20.
22 songs in Japan one day.
Oh, that's,
22 songs.
yeah.
Damn.
Well, memory shared, you know, because it's a team.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be always remembering all those works, but we're pretty much in that figure.
Huh? 20 songs in Trinidad, you do? Since you're here?
Yeah, we did that, 18. Came here the first time in the Bravo Fattis studio, and I did about 4 or 5. And I got back since I was to do this festival, and we did the rest leading up to.
Where does
18.
all them songs Sizzla? You release all them songs? Are you sure you don't release every song you record?
I grew up in the music. I grew up in the community with sound system booming here and there. Silver Arc General, Travelers, Gemini, Metro Media, Stone Love, Jaro. So I'm well-rounded with the music.
Yeah.
I know what the people like, and it's easy for me to produce catchy choruses. And the music is just a vibration. 7 notes in music, 7 colors of the rainbow, the 7 priests up on the altar. You know what I mean? 7 days of the week. The music is a frequency, and I appreciate good music. And just to hear different melodies coming across out the studio, I'm fascinated by such. So as soon as I've completed one song and I hear a new rhythm, I'm onto that rhythm. Because for me, it's like my biggest enemy is an empty rhythm. And the studio with no one working it. Because entering the scene, being given the break, being given a chance to enter this field of music is really grateful. You know what I mean? I can be here today because there were times when I needed to be in the studio and I just can't get that opportunity. We walked down the whole entire Kingston trying to get that little break. Didn't come easy. So for a person to be in this scenario now, in this situation, having this position as a figure in the music, I waste no time.
Yeah.
And that's my profession. I'm passionate about it. That's my line of duty. So I don't see why I should be hanging out on the streets, wasting time. So I pass my time in the studio, making new songs and new beats.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Work ethic is a must.
Exactly.
You know?
Pays off.
Yeah, for sure. So, reggae music, you know, one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful music we've ever experienced. That is my opinion, right? We see the reggae music slow down to a certain extent, you know, as I say, when we was growing up, all we was listening to was Sizzla. It's like we didn't even have time to listen to other kind of music. It's Sizzla, Anthony B, Buju Banton. It was like a revolution basically happening. Why, what you would say, what Sizzla would say is the reason for the, you know, the slowdown of the reggae music within the youths right now?
It could be a lot of things, but the music is not slowed down.
Yeah,
It might be it's
definitely,
not being played as often as before because, as I say, we're multifaceted. We're not just like a monolithic culture. We're multifaceted, well diverse to that extent, and the musicians before our time, they were well rounded and grounded in making music. As you can see, for example, Mr. Marley plays the guitar, Peter Touch plays the guitar. Someone can play something. Everyone in the band, they are musicians, not just artists. These artists before, they were musicians. They've studied their craft very well. So they produces a lot of good music, a lot of sounds coming out of the studios in Jamaica. So then it's going to be at a high point. Artists now, when I've done my research, what I found out is that we can't play instruments.
Real talk.
So when they say like reggae dead, reggae can't die. The fact is you just can't produce good rhythms because you can't play it. And sometimes we don't have any respect for our band members.
True.
And they're the ones making the rhythm.
Yeah, the musician.
Sometimes you have, there was a time in the music where it was like a payola. It's not like the natural sense organically where, according to the principle of the radio station, you play these songs. There was a time when persons would just pass money under the table and just play other person's songs, and nothing is wrong with playing the songs, but over a period of time it becomes a tradition, it becomes something that takes a toll onto the selectors because everyone is trying to get their voices out and everyone is trying to feed their family.
Definitely.
So sometimes we might bash against it, say it's a payola, so you're getting paid to play person's songs and persons doing the thing, have their songs in the library of the radio station, they're not getting played. We all understand that. But persons have to feed their families. So then again, that's another breaking away. And you have different countries, reggae music being invented in Jamaica, but out of the island, these people, they have different culture and they play different genre of music. So if they're not hearing what they used to hear from the artists before, they're going to go to their cultural, natural native music and they're going to abide by it. It's for us as an artist to do promotion, do press conferences, do interviews, and do tours and get on the stage and promote this music that is so spiritual, that is one of the most powerful music on the planet, to let it reach over to the people and just about it. You know what I mean? Some persons, they might be promoting reggae music, but they might not be a fan of the reggae music because it's also a business. The music is lucrative. It brings millions of dollars to persons. So persons will get into the music. Some persons don't know reggae music, never heard it, and the first time they hear this music, they're being taken away by it and their whole entire life changes. So, you know what I mean? Persons, they have their own choices, so that's just about it. So I wouldn't say the music is like down.
I wouldn't say it's down, but what I really wanted to ask the same way too is, as I say, like when I was a youth man and all the other youths around me, we was in love with reggae music. What would you say is the reason for that now, like the disconnection with the youths to the reggae?
Because reggae music is a ragamuffin music, it's a redemption music, it's a music that bashes against corruption, bashes against slavery and anything that's negative rather than, and it's a loving music with a lot of love songs being composed also. So these artists, some of them, I think they don't have enough knowledge of their culture, of their past, of their history, of their families, of what had taken place during the time of slavery, so they don't have much to express. So it's now a time where it's computer, the internet is at their fingertip for usage, and it's the quick money, fast going, so persons are going to be doing stuff where they can get the money. And you know, in the Babylon system, they boots corruption more than righteousness, and you know, sex sells,
of course,
you know, more than conscious songs. And when you're not being exposed to this music as often, you tend to drift to some other side, cleaving to something else.
You know, I never look at it that way, as the sense of reggae music is a music where you must have a certain level of knowledge to really paint the picture of, you know, like Bob Marley, Sizzla, Kalonji, like, you all paint certain types of pictures. Now, if you don't have that knowledge in your head, how can you really paint the picture? And
Exactly.
reggae music is also a type of music where you cannot be shallow with it. It have a lot of shallow reggae music we just hear recently.
Because it's natural, it's music. Anyone
Right, you
can
know, yeah.
be inspired to make a song and a beautiful rhythm, which is reggae. Nothing is wrong with that. But the deepness of the
message.
reggae is for you to know your history, your African history, your black history, Rastafari. Know where the people are coming from as to where they're supposed to be, and know the suffrage they've been through. Then you can express and be more within a level of making songs for social commentary and reaching out to the world.
I think that we're lacking that in the industry right now. I think that have a
We're lacking a lot of things in the industry.
What would you say is the biggest pollution of the industry right now? What Sizzla Kalonji cannot take right now? One thing.
Songs that's lowering persons to be really against the moral values for women and children. Songs that really like encouraging persons to go out and do bad stuff. Because within our culture, I would use, for example, Shabarang, Supercat, Ninja Man. They've been doing a lot of clash all over the island. And you've never heard any of these artists acting upon each other.
True.
Or you've never heard any of the followers of these artists acting upon each other as fans. Yeah? So there's a lot of things. That's the cause.
Yeah.
But once we can point it out, that is where we'll attack it, and we'll put words, sound and power and a beautiful rhythm around it and elevate the people to a higher level.
Yeah. You know, as I say, the artists clashing and you never really hear anything. You know, so it's like from Trinidad, you know, and Trinidad is something that my generation create, you know, and we see a lot of, you know, now, a lot of mad thing go on, anything.
Trinidad.
You know, Trinidad.
Just a figure of speech, you know, in the sense that, you know, they just mean that they're strong, they're not going to give up, they have hopes and the resilience, strength. Understood very well they're saying, but Trini good. Yeah. Trini good, yeah. You know, it wasn't like this. When I first entered Trinidad, it was real beautiful, not that violence. Not to say violence wasn't here, or even in the Caribbean, even in Jamaica, it's everywhere. We know the system fed from violence. But Trinidad is a very beautiful place, and I'm telling you, we need to get back to that stage where we can be within the atmosphere of love and unity and respect for each other. Definitely. The thing about it, when we in Jamaica make songs, we don't act it out like that to go and hurt people. Other persons over the world, basically like what's happening in Trinidad right now, they're acting it out. And you have different rival gangs having hatred for each other because you've done something and they just can't get over it, they need revenge or something, some reprisal. It's for us to take the same music that had lured them away to lead them back into the fold.
I remember I had a video, I never remember, some local movie, there was a preview, that's years ago, like more than a decade, and Sizzla was in the movie, and he was on the phone, and he was saying, he was talking to his bungee, he was talking to on the phone, your bungee, that, he say, why, that gun thing, I mash up Trinidad, and something, so you see, you know, that was like, and that was years ago, and I remember watching that preview of that movie and seeing you say that and say, that gun thing go mash up Trinidad.
Yeah,
know?
Guns mash up everywhere, but we still need collective security. That is why you have a society that governs all those stuff. But guns are only to kill.
You see a society that's governed those stuff. Use a man very heavy in governing certain things, you know, like back home, you know, I was looking at the interview just this morning with Shawnee B, you know, and he was showing me the whole, well, not showing me, but you know what I mean, I was watching the video and I was seeing, you know, the museum, and it was so fascinating to see that, you know, you had this whole city, and I remember looking at you on Instagram some years back, and you're mixing your mortar and you're building the thing now. You know, tell me about that.
Well, it's just natural, you know. You know, I grew up in a garage. My dad is a auto body person, mechanic, and he does fix all these vehicles. I've been doing welding ever since a young stage. So I grew up listening to music, watching my father playing guitar with other persons while doing the body work, while I'm going to school, get to school, and black.
Yeah.
I just got to be in the garage because that's the means of survivability for my dad, so we can be living and be comfortable. And next to that, like my mom now, she goes to the market and she sells in the market.
Still today?
No.
Oh.
So after leaving the garage, if I'm in the garage with my dad, before school and after school, that might just be for this week. Next week, I'll just go and help my mom. Right. So I wouldn't be in the garage, I would be in the Coronation Market downtown helping my mom selling stuff up and down the streets, the busy streets of Kingston, yeah? So that's just about it.
Yeah. No. As I say, I was looking at the whole vibes and very commendable, you know, same way. As you say too, like, that what I said stick in my head now, is in the sense of when you was talking about the reggae music, and if you don't have the knowledge, you can really, you know, project the message and use a man. Don't just sing the music, but you live the lifestyle.
Exactly.
It, you know, and that's something that we need more.
Yeah, this is what we learned from living. Yeah, because fans out there, they love you. They've never helped you to write a song. They've never written a song for you. So they would like to know what is it you're being made of.
Yeah.
So I'll have to show them that I was in the garage growing up, so when you see me like stunting, driving cars and bikes, that's something that I'm well used to.
Yeah.
You know, so we brought that to the people, and then again, we're out there, we're making money in the music. You need to let your surrounding be like, you need to beautify your surrounding. You're coming from a stage, you need to clear it up, get it to a level where you can alter your surrounding, where it's more accommodative and welcoming for persons. Because you're singing about poverty, now you're making the money, you're still not cleaning up your surroundings, so it doesn't add up. So this is where it's at, you know. So I do these things sometimes. Take it publicly so the fans can get a better understanding of who the person is that's singing for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Really is real. You know, so you're in Trinidad now?
Yes.
Why are we here? What going on?
I was here to furnish a show,
yeah,
you know, but apparently some contractual agreement didn't came through. So I was here waiting on the promoter to get back to me to know what's up. It didn't went through, you know what I mean? So I was like, hey, this is where it's at. Let's get a little venue and do something, you know what I mean, to show some appreciation, you know, to relieve the people of that bad vibes where this grunting about, you know, because there's no business like show business.
Definitely.
It does happen at times, so we just got to brace for the impact and approach it much better next time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you go through these things a lot, you know, not just here, but many times. You know,
yeah, but not the same scenario over a time, because I'm not a no-show artist.
Right.
When I'm booked for a show, I'm the first person wanting to be in the country. I'm the first person out of the band members to be going through the gate for the venue.
Right.
That's just me, because I'm overwhelmed by the gratitude. Overwhelmed with gratitude for the support and the love that I have for Sizzla. Keep inspiring the people. I can't look down on the fans, because the fans, they said the people is the power.
Yeah, definitely.
We're calling them fans, but they're the people, and that's the power.
Yep.
That's where you get your money from. You get your money from the people. Whether it be the promoter or the artist or anyone working in the venue, the money comes from the people, from the patrons paying at the gate.
Yeah.
They're there to see you, the artist. Therefore, you got to make some split between you as the artist, the promoter, and persons setting up stage, setting up light, persons doing the catering, underground, securities. So whenever time you don't show up for a stage show, a lot of persons aren't being paid.
Yeah.
Just to be on the stage, persons are being paid. So promoters will have to take their craft more serious, you know, and sometimes different glory might overshadow some artists, because you might have an artist presently now, they're the one on the scene, they're booming, and the people like that really well. The people cheering on for them, and that's good. That's nice. We support them. But as a promoter, you must remember that it's not just one artist. You're billed to do a show. You have multiple artists, so the same catering need to be extended to these people, so they can be comfortable. And if you're not looking that way, seeing it like that, you're going to lose out.
Yeah. Because after the show, we see a lot of cries with the local artists and all, you know, talking about the minimum wages, You
Yes.
know, the foreign artists getting millions
And they're,
the local artists getting
that's what I'm saying.
500.
So you got to just balance the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect the artist. Then.
Everyone, because everyone is being respected. They're artists. You never know which one will be in that great position of fame, popularity, and the demand from the public. You can't be stepping on anyone's shoes at this time.
Yeah, definitely. Sizzla, as I say, you know, I always want to ask you certain things as a youth just watching. Jamaica have a grab mic culture. We don't really see that in Trinidad. You know, we don't see that here. I never see one giraffe and mic out of my shell in my life.
That's,
you know,
that's just happiness.
happiness.
Yeah, and that it's really important in our culture to show that we have the zeal. Let me have this. Don't be shy to sing for the people. I'll do it if you don't want to do it. It's nothing disrespectful. And sometimes it's just fun. Sometimes we just love seeing the artist reaching for the mic. It gives us that impetus to say, I want to be vibrant in doing my thing. Because it's a thing, you know, Jamaica is one of the only countries that really pelt projectiles at you to sing for them. That's what I've noticed. That's what I came up with after doing my research. So I'm like, yo, I was born into a culture with a set of people. The way they love Jah, the way they love Jah and the music. If you don't give it to them, they're gonna stone you. So for my part now as a young artist coming in the scene, looking at projectile flying over and going on the stage, and I'm a person gonna be on that stage. I started studying. Why are they behaving like this? Because what? You call them out, they spent a lot of money. Some of these gentlemen, they don't even have the money because it's suffering. Minimum wage is really high. And when you have them spending the last to buy the shoes and get their beautiful lady all, you know, beautify in that sense, and you don't come to sing, the promoters don't let in certain people to perform, and you the artist, you're like lagging behind because the people don't know that the promoter didn't pay you, so you can't do the show. They started blaming you as the artist also, because they're saying we came through the door, we paid our money, we're in which you should all be paid out of this. What's happening? They started throwing projectiles. That is why you have Jamaica with no bottles in the land. You know, nothing heavy, no glass. It's more like plastic or no paper cups. Because
you was on a stage and bottle behind you?
Yeah, they haven't thrown anything at me, but I've been to stage shows where they're waiting for Sizzla and the promoters like something lag and they just destroy the stage with bottles. I will still go on the stage and sing. Nothing can stop me from singing for the people. But within our agreement, when you're supposed to fulfill something, you just got to get it done, because I personally could go out by myself and sing for the people, but I'm here in Trinidad with a band. I got to pay the band before the band go on. I can't take people and put them on stage just like that. Like brute force, or you dictating to persons to go work. If they don't get paid, they're not going to work. I can't do anything.
True. Another question I want to ask you is, tell me about the DJ Khaled situation.
We don't speak much about it, but you know, it's just respect goes a far way.
But I didn't really understand like exactly why he was upset. Like, what was the real reason?
It's just, as I said, respect goes a far way. I don't really wish to expound on such, but just for the clarity as we're here now, you know, I was like given a plaque, and I'm like, this plaque belongs to Sizzla. And I heard the kids outside like, Dada, where is the name? I'm not seeing the name. And when they found the name, it's like within a miniature font, and we take it serious, because this name you're placing with a miniature font is the name that brought you to the table. And give you access to the whole entire thing. From my part, I'm not saying I'm the only person. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things within a name, because my name, not only Sizzla, other artists respectfully, but all right, let me say it like this. Our names fed a lot of persons all over the world, inspired a lot of persons. So the name, only thing I got is my name.
Definitely.
I only have my name, and I can't afford for my name to be in any shamble. So when you're going to do something like that to a Sizzla, who had been there for you all throughout your musical journey, you're not giving me any respect, so it's not worth it. I mean, and then again, the plaque is just a piece of paper and plastic. I'm dealing with core values. I'm dealing with the moral of the people. Reach out to the people, spread the love. You know, the fan They're the ones supporting us. They bought our records. They supported us just about everywhere. So how can you turn your back on the fans? Well, it's like the same thing you're doing to a Sizzla, because the name Sizzla is really for the fans.
Yeah.
I'm just a person carrying the name, operating as such within that whole entire entity, but it comes down where in which the name fed the people use the name to do business, to do promotion, and once you have a Sizzla there, it's being promoted within a respectful sense where persons can get up out of their private domain and come and spend and have a good evening, and it goes for both of us. So I don't see why you're trying to push me down, and I'm the person who had lifted you up. And you're doing it and sending a subliminal message. And we know very well what's up because we're Rasta. We read the Bible. We do a lot of praying. So we know when you're coming to us with foul spirit. We have no time for that. We need to move ahead.
Definitely. Definitely. So Sizzla, you're an artist that been around the world. As we just spoke about DJ Khaled, you work with the biggest, you know, the Rockefeller vibes with the old Dame Dash, you know. You was all over the place, you know. Do you feel like you have anything else in music you could accomplish?
There's a lot more to accomplish. We can do a lot with the music. The music is bringing millions. You know, they might not want to give us access. We can get that because we might be bashing against certain things. But there's a lot to get out of music. Everything is music. The Most High said, sing and give praise unto the Most High, make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye land. Serve the Lord with gladness, come before his presence with singing. Therefore, singing is a part of our culture to give praise unto Jah. So we can use the music to do stuff, bring money and build schools. We can use the music to help the Golden Age home. Elder persons being neglected, visually impaired, and, you know, persons deaf, you know what I mean, dumb, persons being handicapped. We can use the music to do a lot of stuff. Use the music to open any sort of business. Use the music to promote just about anything. Use the music to get the people together, because people still use the music to separate. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more out of the music, you know. Can use the music to encourage persons, you know, to stay in school, do good. You know, despite we know the school system, after being through school and getting out of school, is like there's no job. So if we go through school and we get out and we have no job, it seems as if it was meaningless to go to school. But that's not just for us. We keep educating ourselves so we can be intelligent. So whenever time we are being faced with any problems throughout our life, we can best apply what we've learned to the situation to solve matters. So there's a lot to do with music. Music is vibration. Music unites the world. It's a universal language. Everyone does use music. Might be different genre, but it's still music. So we respect our fans, and we respect our artists, and we respect our musicians.
Definitely, my bro. Definitely. And I say it's a pleasure, you know, it's a pleasure to sit down here and just be in your presence and really feel the vibration up close and personal.
That's just about, you know, do the work. There's nothing else for me to do but the music until I choose another profession.
You would ever choose another profession?
I got a lot of different professions. Yeah, I'm a mechanic, I'm an auto body person, you know what I mean? I'm a musician, I'm a cinematographer also. You know what I mean? I do building drawing, architecture, and all those stuff, but the music took a toll on me, and it brings more income now, not that those are not, because I've not activated such, but it's with the income to feed the people, and I like the position where I'm at, where I can reach out to the world, because I'm a caring person. I got families, I got friends with families, and we're always about families. Where we like to search for talent and show the world, I'm not the only artist here. Here's another beautiful artist. Give them a chance, because Sizzla can be on the east side of Trinidad doing work, while other artists can be on the west side working. So you need more artists. We need more artists in the business. Be it from Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, Africa, New York, England, we need more artists. And we're not supposed to be supporting ourselves as Jamaicans concerning that we're artists. We need to support everyone, because the Jamaican public, they support every artist. We, the artists, might have some bad vibe among ourselves. The fans, they follow the artists, but they're not like that, because they pay the money to be entertained, be it a Sizzla or any other artist. So we should just pay respect to ourselves. You know the core value as an artist in front of the public, being on the stage. So any other artist not being given that level of popularity and fame, and I would say that magnitude of respect and response from the public, they're still respected because you never know when one of these artists gonna be out there and you'll be like looking at them on the stage.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's just that they're not at that stage yet to be that big person within the whole music field as a big international artist, but they're getting there.
Is that a real thing?
And music is not just only to make money. We make songs to free ourselves, free our mind,
Definitely.
to get bad emotions out, to dispel different vibration and negative vibration and low vibration. So I'm always making songs. You know, we make songs to inspire persons throughout their daily life, the daily chores and activities throughout the community, domestically. We've made songs to encourage person to be a better person and go ahead. And you know, you never know where it's gonna end up.
I really think so. Like I'm witness to that. You know, a lot of your music take me through, you know, some of my darkest times. You know, so I can attest that you do the job.
Exactly.
You do the
Job must be done.
Yeah.
Get it done well.
I was having a discussion with somebody some time back, and they was talking about, because we were talking about the influence on music and that type of vibes. And they brought up your name, and they was like, at a time in Jamaica, I can't remember which album it was, but they say it dropped the crime rate in Jamaica. Is that true? Because we were talking about the influence on music and how reggae could change the mood.
It's not just only with the songs or an album. It's also with you as a person having hands on the handle, boots on the ground, going through these garrison zone and speaking to these kids, helping them. You know, so the crime rate is not being dropped just by Sizzla singing a song, but it's also dropped by Sizzla visiting the people. And they're like, Dada, nothing is happening. What can we do? Put on a party. Yeah. So these persons, they're dubbed as gangster. They started putting on parties. So these persons, they're dubbed as gangster. I'm the person singing for you all. They love Dada, so stop doing that. We just keep the ragamuffin thing, the gangster thing in the music, because we know the culture to clash, and we make money when we're going to have stage shows, and we're going to clash with sound system or artists to spend money, and we're going to collect the trophy for who's going to be the winner for the clash. So that's a culture that we shouldn't take root on a different path, having it going down a road where people think it's violent. No, it's not violent. So don't do that. Stop doing that. But it's not only the songs. It's your personal character and how you see the people.
Who are you on the ground?
Right. And how you relate to the people, how you approach the people, the way you deal with people, the way you reach out to the people, the way you respond to the people, the way you answer persons. That has a lot to do. And like I say, Sizzla is being called upon. I'm one of the only artists being called upon whenever time you have like peace concert. Right. Yeah, because when you have violence in our community, a lot of the artists, they don't want to go there because they're very fearful for their life and what can happen, you know. But I don't know, I've walked the streets of Kingston, you know what I mean? I've been down by the Coronation Market. I know all these little places in the ghetto, and I knew all these persons from a young stage. So it was my duty to go to these places and see these people and relate to them and sing for them. Some artists not going to go there, I'm telling you, because they're really fearful for their life at times, and they know their worth. And we knew the worth of the artist also, but I don't know, that's just within my nature. I think one of my weaknesses is just the people and kids, So I'm always going to these garrison zones, but it was something with me where in which I was like, if I should visit this place at least 10 times for the year, I think they can change, you know. Right. So I started making up my own sound systems because it was difficult for them to get sound systems to play. You know, sound system might be in and around the community, but it comes with a cost. So I started doing dub plates. Same person's giving me money. I do dub plates. And I started buying speakers, amplifiers, start buying plyboards and 2x4, and start making my own sound system, having some engineer, technician come and structure the sound system. So when I'm going to a stage show now, I can send my sound beforehand and I could just come afterwards. You know, but for the violence to be at that low stage and the branding Sizzla with bringing the violence to a low level, it's
They say
not
your
just
music
only singing. Singing is a
influence,
part
yeah.
because that's what they want. But when you can reach out and relate to a family, relate to a single mother and help her out, set something, some sort of programs to help them out, that's really nice. And when these ragamuffin, who you're calling gunman or gangster, when they can have access to someone who they're willing to help them to change their life, they're going to step up, because the only reason they're in the violence is because you're doing something bad to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be it any one of the gang, they're both doing bad stuff to each other.
Right.
So they're going to have that rival.
Right.
But the most important thing is the mediator. And sometimes they don't really like the mediator because the mediator is not really honest. Sometimes the mediators, they're hypocrites.
True.
But you, the artist that they look upon and trust and they live your word, you need to be that mediator for both of them to let them know, you like that, so you like that, both and you're fighting. You know, that's true, King. What caused it in the first place? Oh, you step on my shoes and you try to take my girl, or you robbed us or something, and we want to show you something that it, you know, so you're going to have that revenge. So you just got to be there, hands on the handle, boots on the ground, relate with the person, be intimate with the community, you know what I mean, show them what you're made of, and show them a different character, a different side of you as just being an artist. Show them that you're a father, you're a brother, you know, you're a natural abiding citizen, upstanding, and you can reach out to them and we can share. We're using oxygen, we're drinking the same water. You're not much different from me. The difference is that I've stayed home, I've practiced well over a period of time, I've mastered the art in singing and DJing, making music, rap, whatsoever, and I've reached this stage where I can do something to bring some sort of income. The public, they love it. We work with it. You can be the same. It might take a little time.
Yeah. Be a leader.
Be a leader.
You know, a lot of youths, Sizzla, I realize, you know, 'cause I deal with a lot of youths, and I always tell them that a lot of them think that badness is badness first. But I just tell them it's about respect. Like me, for instance, I don't know bad man.
Yeah, that is why you're being disrespected and you're being attacked, because you have no respect.
Yeah, I ask Bravo, I could go anywhere with my gold chain. Nobody ain't taking it from me, and no gun in protecting me. Because why? The way how I deal with the people in every community I went to. You know, so I try to teach you
not to say you don't have the haters, you know.
Of course, the haters will always be there.
Sometimes you have haters, they're real nice people.
But the frequency we vibrating on,
just their experience. Some of these kids resorting to violence, having guns, it's all because how we treated them.
Yeah.
A lot of kids being molested at home.
Definitely.
And no one is saying anything about that. By parents or peer groups. You know, a lot of girls being raped, muffled, human trafficking. You know what I mean? Persons just see other persons passing by and persons hurt them, they're going to want to start securing themselves.
What about brainwashing?
All those stuff.
Easy to brainwash somebody.
You can't just say the youths are resorting to violence all because of a song.
Right.
I'm not saying the song has no influence, but there are a lot more things having them resorting to violence, and we're not putting it on the table.
Definitely.
Yeah? Kids, the parents spend a lot of money for them to go through high school, millions of dollars, and the parents are now in an elder stage, and they're looking for their kids to come home with some sort of blessing, to put something on the table, to even refurbish the house, construct something, and they can't get that from their kids, yet they spend the whole life working, garnering income to feed their children, because why? There's no jobs being provided for them. So as soon as they get the degree, bachelor, whatsoever it may be, they're going to leave the island, seeking a better way, seeking jobs. We're not doing all that. Yeah? And on the other side, it's political. When we see they're doing other stuff now, the next side is going to want to bash against it. And you're still not doing it. And then the other side, seeing you doing that, they bash against it, and either of them ain't doing anything. So the people going to take up things in their own hands. Yeah? So all we can do is just encourage the youth, them to step away from the violence and do something else and be more respectful of yourself, be more loving. Like I said, I'm an artist from Jamaica, and Jamaica born, Maroon, I would say, Nyankipong, Maroon Kingdom, Rastafari. I'm an artist. I've made a lot of ragamuffin songs, you might call it gangster songs. But it's not about for you to act out those stuff. It's based upon the culture, and that's just about it. For example, I'd use one of my brethren now, like Ricky Trooper, excuse me.
Right.
Ricky Trooper would be like, Dada, we have clash tomorrow and I have to win that trophy. Yeah. Why you give me a bad song for mash them up? Think them are going to win? Where you there? Me I can look for you. We can't hide Ricky Trooper. We have to sit and make one real mad song to win this trophy. Because you have other artists making bad songs. And they calling even Trooper name to say, Trooper, when we hold you out, that's how we got done here with that dub plate here. It's just fun for us. After that, that's just about it. Because if you should take up such and act up on your brother in Jamaica, the whole public's going to look at you like, and look down at you like, you're stupid or something, you don't see that's just fun.
And we just see that in the Jamaican culture. Right. We see certain bullying going on in the culture and people will be like, what is that? You know,
different culture, different experience, different culture. You don't know what other persons have been through throughout their life, so we can't go judging.
Of course.
So it's best for us to just continue making good songs and support them and encourage them and see where they go.
Yeah, man. Sizzla, I want to take up too much of your time, and I know you have a busy schedule, but before you leave, I really wanted to give a heartfelt advice to the youths and them. We're looking at this right now.
Okay. A lot of those questions are being asked, but today you're standing on the earth. You're Trinidadian, so you should have the knowledge of accumulating lands. Get your lands. Don't let persons from a far country come and take your lands. Like in Jamaica, we're losing our beaches. In Trinidad, they got their beaches here. So despite Jamaica is nice and we're up there, we still need to follow some example from Trinidad. Take back our beaches, take back our lands. You know what I'm saying? And it's all within the government field because the government, they're themselves looking for money to run the country. They're looking for investors. And sometimes things played out in the sense where they have to offer up some land to get some money, but you need to check the indigenous culture of the people, and certain lands must not be given over to certain persons. You got to restore those lands, keep those lands for generations to come. Imagine you sell the whole entire country of Trinidad to strangers, persons coming out. Not that we don't respect business, principle of business, but kids who are going to be like giving birth 50 years from now in Trinidad, where are their lands? 100 years from now, if we, the government and the people, should just offer up these lands, when we get our kids, our grandkids, great, where are they going to be living? We got to preserve lands and reserve stuff for our kids coming in the future. You know what I mean? We're not going to say we're going with the death rate. People are being born more than now they're dying. So we just got to make preparation for the people. So that's about it. So you need to claim your land. You need to educate yourself. I mean, know where you're from. Yeah? You go out and you'll buy the Louis Vuitton, you'll buy the Gucci, you'll buy the Nike, you'll buy the Pumas. You know everything about these brands and these people, and we try to emulate them, but yet we're not trying to emulate Africa. We're not trying to emulate the good deeds and the good path being charted by our ancestors and our freedom fighters, our parents, and persons before us and before them and even before those, you know what I mean, who had brought us here. That's the thing, we need to make all these studies, but then again, it's not accessible in the schools. A lot of stuff not being taught in the school because it's just the way of the colonial system in order to keep them like cattle. And they know nothing about God. Once the mind is being awakened, the people are going to move in a total direction because the people are the power. Yeah? And the next thing, you need to respect yourself and respect your parents. We're not respecting our parents. So once we have the attitude of not respecting our parents, subliminally we're sending a message, and unconsciously we're doing that to other persons. So if you don't respect your mom, you don't respect your dad, unconsciously you're going to be going around disrespecting everybody because you're not seeing that. You got to respect your parents. Another thing, we got to respect our women. We're not respecting our women. Yeah? We as men, we stand and let our friends, we are a gang. We gangster then, for example, we badman. You got sisters, none of you could have been there without being carried in a home, and it's only female gender carries the home. And we still encourage our brother as gangsters to go and rape a sister. We can't be doing that. We can't say we're morally calculated yet still we have funny things happening around us.
Real talk.
We say we're gangster, and the things that we're protecting are the wrong things. We're protecting funny man. We're protecting lesbian. We're protecting pedophilia. We're protecting persons doing human trafficking. We're protecting persons abusing our parents, our children and women. We're even abusing ourselves as men. We need to stop that. Snap out of that lifestyle. It doesn't work. It ain't going nowhere but to the grave.
Yep.
Yeah? One thing we got is our life. But within that life, you have a lot of other things you can do, a lot of other things you can do with just that one life. Yeah? So it's just like the life you have is just like the body. But the body is being made up of other organs. So that's just about it. So we just got to be very careful what we do and what we say to our children and women. Then again, we need to have some sort of motivation within ourselves to know that I can do it. I can do it just like anyone else. Send yourself back to school. We say we're gangsters, or we're making money now, and the school fee might be just a little $10,000, or if it's that much, or whatsoever it might be, and we have the money and we're not educating ourselves. So if we the parents are we the gangsters not educating ourselves, how you expect the kids to grow? So you're getting up every day with guns in your hand and you're going to be presenting yourself on the road every day. You're not setting anything, and that's the line that we're thinking. We're thinking along that line. So our kids going to come up and say, it's just violence, it's just guns, so we're going to have the gun now. What can we do with the gun?
Of course.
You know, we can extort, you know, we can go rob somebody, you know, we can go kill. And yeah, you make a little money and you do what you're doing, but it can't take you nowhere. It's just going to stop right there. The citizen's going to get you. You understand? That's just about it, and that's when they say jungle justice. But we don't need no damn jungle justice in Trinidad. Gangsters hurting each other. You should be united as gangs.
Definitely.
Babylon is united against you all. It doesn't matter what gang you form. It's one Babylon coming for you. And you have different gangs. You should be getting yourself together, starting some starter, go on some entrepreneurial route, opening up some NGO, some foundation, structuring business, put your girlfriends in it, your friends go there, you send your kids to school, your kids learned all these stuff and they have the books. Your own kids can come home and teach you as a parent also. You know what I mean? So we need to educate ourselves, be on a higher level so our kids can look at us with the best example being set by us so they can have a better future. And that's it.
What we gonna say? That is it.
You're
you know.
welcome.
Full respect.
Respect.
King man, it was a pleasure, as I
Rastafari.
say. I will
Anytime.
never forget this moment, for sure.
Rastafari.
You know, big up yourself all the time. But before we go though, we have to plug in the One Love.
The One Love, yeah.
Yeah, so plug it in, let the people know.
Well, you know, it's going down at the Sound Forge. You know what I mean? Gates open 8, showtime 9. We're just trying to get the people not to be really vexed about what took place, you know, because this too shall pass. But, you know, persons worked hard and they spend the money. They're looking for the artist. But then again, management staff and promoters got to do what they got to do. So, you know, as an artist, I do feel on my part I should just do something. It might not be have that magnitude of the first show, but at least we're doing something to resolve a situation where persons can still be happy. Because at the end of the day, all the people need is their music.
Definitely.
And when you have a stage show, it's a lot of things going on with a stage show. It's not just for you, the promoter, to be making money, or you, the artist, to be saying you're charging this. You know what I mean? Persons like linking up their friends and families from abroad. They're flying down. They're going to surf the whole entire island. They're going to be going to the beaches. They're going to book themselves in the hotel. They're going to come for the suntan. They're coming for the spicy food. They're coming for the culture. Some people just come in to listen to the dialect, listen to how the Trinidadian or the Jamaican or the Caribbean people speak.
Yep.
They're fascinated about it. There's a lot of things happening, you know what I mean? So there you go, and as promoters, you just got to respect the artists. So personally, we as artists, we got to respect the fans.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find some way to have the people being relaxed and comfortable.
Well, you find a way because you look like a sell-off. Everybody talking about it. I've seen it all over the social media.
Well, I'm just
we
only
outside.
one person. The show is for the whole entire country, yeah? Be it that you're there or not. So we're going down, you know, Sizzla and friends, you're going to have a person like Marla Nasha, you know, coming through. You're going to have Tijan, you know what I mean? You have the selectors, the Lion Twins, you know what I mean? You have Bunji Garden, you know, we'll roll through the building. Yeah, and a lot more, you know, you have Jalifa and all those persons coming through, you know what I mean? There's a lot more artists to the set, but this is where it's at and it's going well so far.
Goodness.
This is what we do, we're passionate about it. One Love Show, Sound Forge, Saturday the 7th, June. Be there.
And that is it. Boom.
Ja, Rastafari.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. Sizzla, say you gave me 25 minutes, I get more. I can't vex.